did have to, in addition to that, I had to make one other major change to it, and that was in the special revenue projects. I had to add the 2012 TCDP project, which I just discussed with the marginal funding. So that was, in fact, added both in the revenue and the expenditure side of the budget. Other than that, is those changes that were recommended.
Have you, I know we discussed the possibility of getting with the county and seeing if they had any interest in giving us an estimate or a bid on taking care of that part-time position that we don't have a dispatcher right now. Has that been pursued at all?
No, sir, I haven't had a chance.
Okay.
But I will ask the county that, and I'll discuss that with the police department and see if we can come up with a means. I just, in order to be expeditious, wanted to make sure that the positions were there, and that they were taken care of. Whether or not the police department activates it will be subject to their decision between now and the 1st of October. But that at least puts it in place, because we're sitting here in August, and we're actually in a case of approving the budget prior to actually approving the tax rate and the other changes, and we'll have to adjust based upon the council decisions.
Any other questions? That answer your question?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Ron, on that item?
So we just leave this here for right now until
It's public hearing. It's just, anybody in the audience want to comment on this item? This is a public hearing. It's a portion of the meeting. Well, this is just a public hearing on number 6 on the proposed budget. This is just, we've got 3 or 4 scheduled public hearings. This is one of them, and this is the budget that we're on talking about, the capital funds purchasing. I think also the proposed budget is out there as well. Does that answer your question? Okay. There being no other comment, we'll declare the public hearing portion of the meeting closed. We'll move along to item 7. Consider and approve an ordinance making appropriation for the support of the city of Crockett for the financial budget year of October 1, 2012 and ending September 30, 2013. Appropriating monies to the sinking fund to pay interest and principals due to the city indebtedness, and adopting the annual budget of the city of Crockett for fiscal year 2013. So moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion been made, seconded, we adopt the budget. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion, take your vote. Aye. Okay. All opposed, all in favor?
Thank you, Council.
Majority. Did you get that? Okay. Now, a public hearing on 2012 tax rate. Number 8. And let's see. And we'll wait for the to address it. Oh, go ahead, let Ron. Go ahead, Ron. Ron's going to talk about it first, then we'll, if there's those you want to talk about this, we'll discuss it.
Now, as council remembers, this actual sheet was in the last council packet, and in it we discussed what I proposed as the tax rate, as well as our rollback rate, effective tax rate, and what our current rate is now, and then the rate the council actually tentatively approved. Our effective tax rate for this year is 0.508035, and that based upon what our current tax rate of 0.51650, along with the slight contraction of our tax base, would have meant a revenue shortfall of $30,257 if you had enacted the effective tax rate. The current tax rate, if we if we just use the current tax rate where we're sitting right now, 0.51650, assuming a 98% collection rate, which is what the assumption in the budget, we would still have a shortfall of $10,629, and I would have to adjust to that. At the rollback tax rate, which is 0.544277, it would actually increase our revenue by $53,781. And based upon what had been discussed at the last meeting, the proposed tax rate that I had built into your budget last time was 0.53811, which would have called for basically an increase of $39,481. And council approved, tentatively approved a rate of 0.52109, which is basically a break-even tax rate. Given the contraction of our tax base, it actually amounts to a $15 increase over this year's at the tax rate of 0.51650. Now, it seems odd, but that's because the tax base did contract slightly.
Okay. First, folks, council, do you have any questions for Ron about this? No. Okay. This is item A. Ms. LaRue, you wanted to discuss about the tax rate?
Well, I was just going to make a comment.
Okay.
And everything. I'm not going for tax increases.
Okay.
I know everybody's in a bind. All cities are in a bind. All counties are in a bind. Businesses are in a bind. Right now, we're facing an increase countywide. We face one citywide. That's going to affect a lot of businesses, and it's going to affect a lot of, we've got a lot of people on fixed incomes here in Crockett. And if they happen to go up on your property values, we're going to be double taxed by an increase in income. Why this always has to be done on property, I don't know. My feeling is, can't we do some sort of a sales tax increase and let everybody foot the bill instead of just property owners? Because every time everybody wants to raise money, let's hit the property owners. Well, when you're in business and with the economy like it is, and because this hits your property tax on your business, it hits your inventory taxes go up. If they decide that they need to increase your property values, I mean, you're just going to keep going. And I just didn't know if there could be a way to do it through a sales tax type thing other than property taxes.
The only problem, Mr. Rue, with sales tax as a means of doing it is then you get in the way of state law. State law doesn't allow us to make any changes to sales tax whatsoever.
Sales tax is fixed by the legislature, state law. A certain percent goes to the state, and a small portion of it is divided up between the entities.
The cities can't set their own sales tax. The cities can't set their own sales tax. Well, the only other thing is to make cuts then. Thank you.
That's fine, Ms. LaRue. Thank you for your comments, Ms. LaRue. I have two here that don't, well, John, do you have something you want to comment on taxes?
No, sir.
Okay. Buddy?
What, you said $15, is that per 100?
No, that's
It's
$15
total.
The tax rate that was preliminarily accepted